Hey guys, today we're gonna react on the new Sydney Watson video, but today without stream. So it will be just a reaction without the stream. So let's see. It names addresses are finally defending JK Rowling. I don't know this celebrity, but we will see what he or she does. Let's see. Let's hop in.
The celebrities, they're becoming sentient. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. I'm so sad you cannot see this entire little background because over here is this cute little ghosty boy, but I couldn't shift the screen enough to get him in shot, but he's so cute and he keeps blinking and it's adorable. Anyway, hello guys, just a quick one. The tea is still on sale on my website for 50% off the
Yeah, okay, I hear that very much, so I don't need to hear it now.
that I have somewhat complex feelings about author JK Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books, for those of
Ah, this is the woman who did the Harry Potter books. I see. I forgot the name though.
you who somehow don't know that. I disagree with some of the things that she's done and said over the years with relation to her books, and although I know that they are her books and she can do what she wants, I think it's really weird to change canon just after the fact because you want to appeal to a group of people, being leftists, who are going to hate you anyway. You know, like signing off on the casting of Black Snape or pretending that Hermione is some ethnically ambiguous character in the books. They're never
Okay, weird, I guess.
gonna like you, Joanne.
I never saw the books, so or read the books. I just saw the movies.
Stop trying to make them like you. But obviously, the one
I heard very much negative things about her. So yeah.
area where we do very much see eye to eye and we do very much agree, and I have a lot of damn respect for this woman, is when it comes to the trans issue and advocating for the rights of women and girls. Because so many women have completely dropped the ball on this. Feminists, what are you doing? Anyway, as most of you know, it's become incredibly trendy to lash out at JK Rowling for years now over her vocal stance on women's rights. She thinks we should have them, just to be clear. I love that for her. Well, for us, really, because nobody wants to wear a burqa less than me. Although, actually, this is less about wearing the burqa and more about seeing penises when we go into women's locker rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, 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 none for me, thanks. What's really sad and interesting is that some of the people attacking her most have been past and present Harry Potter actors and actresses, such as Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Regardless if you like or dislike JK Rowling, I do think it's pretty poor form for Harry Potter alums to be bashing her so they can win some points with the trans lobby.
I'm here for all of the witches.
Shut up, Emma.
Shut up, Meg.
So admittedly,
Okay, I like this one. I was liking this one. She said, "Shut up, Emma," and then Peter Griffin says, "Shut up, Megan." I like that.
it came as a bit of a shock recently when actress Keira Knightley more or less laughed in the face of said lobby, sort of on Joanne's behalf. Joanne being JK Rowling, that's her actual name. And if you don't know who Keira Knightley is, she acted in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and about 50 other movies. If you don't know what Pirates of the Caribbean is, I don't know what you were doing for the
Oh, I don't know it, so she don't know what I doing.
majority of the 2000s. They were
Beautiful thousands. Just born there. I just born in the 2000s, so I can saw it.
weren't just movies. It was a lifestyle. Don't act like you guys don't say, but why is the rum gone whenever someone mentions rum in conversation. Don't even lie to me. Anyway, in mid-October 2025, Knightley was cornered by a reporter during a press junket for her new Netflix thriller, The Woman in Cabin 10, which I actually watched the other night. It definitely had some issues, but it wasn't bad. Knightley, who will be voicing Professor Umbridge in the Harry Potter audiobooks, was asked if she was aware that fans were calling for a boycott because of JK Rowling's stance on trans issues.
Saw you're voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given JK Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. You know, I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
Okay. It's a ad, I'm sorry. I just hate it. I have to get the other one that I don't become ads anymore.
Just tell that she's incredibly over this. Like, why are you asking me about this unrelated random thing that has nothing to do with the reason I'm here? This facial expression is a representation of how I feel every day of my life, honestly. Because
Yeah.
what the frick? Frankly, she's being a lot nicer about this than these clowns deserve. The clown being the interviewer, not Keira Knightley, who I'm imagining looks like this. Obviously, Keira Knightley didn't go out of her way to defend JK Rowling in the way that probably a lot of people would have liked, but it's pretty clear, like I said, that she is incredibly annoyed by this question. But sadly, it's incredibly refreshing to not have a groveling apology or someone launching into some virtue signaling-esque tirade, and also not throwing the woman who has created this opportunity for you under the bus, as we have seen happen time and time and time again. What else can I say? The bar is basically in hell. I would know. I keep it down here in case I need it. And no, I'm not raising it so that your boyfriends and girlfriends will act better.
What? Okay. She is funny though. I like her, I like her. And yeah, we will see this in her.
Figure it out. But hilariously, this adult acknowledgement that disagreeing is a part of life and we have to learn to get along with each other sent the obvious types into a massive tailspin. We ended up with a bunch of articles and videos and commentary mad at Knightley for her reaction.
I need everyone to get back to 2020 levels of woke right the fuck now. Because why is Keira Knightley a TERF? Why does she hate, if you are a British person, you understand the sorry, we all just gonna have to get along. She f***ing hates trans people. I have never seen such patronizing. Just watch the clip.
I'm not trying to be unkind, but these people to me feel like the human embodiment of sniffing paint fumes. Just watch the clip. Okay, Mildred. Okay. It's also deeply annoying how there's so many of them just existing on the internet. And you know,
Yeah, okay, many people making hates. I don't know why, because she wasn't there for this question. She was for other questions there, and she have the right to not answer it because she wasn't there for this question.
speaking of existing on the internet, sometimes that can be quite challenging to do when you realize how much of your private information is accessible, which is why today's video is sponsored by Incogni. Sometimes all of the crazy and disappear find
Yeah,
your
okay,
digital or your source.
I'm sorry. I skip it, I'm sorry.
Man to fight on your behalf. And they repeat the internet that as well, using those things. And don't forget to be worried about internet at all. People kicked off the same way at actor John Lithgow. If it's any consolation at all, people kicked off the same way at actor John Lithgow, who has been cast in the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. When he was asked a similar question as Keira Knightley, he quite literally said that JK Rowling's opinions didn't factor into his decision-making at all. And I really think that this is the most appropriate response to this kind of question. You know, that or doing this.
Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut!
Yeah, probably. probably.
Shut up!
So if you are now here thinking, Sydney, why do I care about this? Why do I care that Keira Knightley, in the most British way humanly possible, told a reporter to basically stick it? Why do I care about John Lithgow? I am going to tell you, Simon. It's because I
Simon.
think this signals another step forward in this ongoing social shift that's happening. Not only away from wokeness and the transgender movement in general, but also in the direction of JK Rowling and her beliefs. Actresses, in particular, long cowed by the fear of cancellation, are starting to push back against the militant trans ideological lobby that has demanded absolute allegiance or exile. Knightley's non-apology, as minor as it was, seems to be a step in the right direction, and a reminder that not every question deserves a scripted sermon. And in 2025, with public opinion rapidly shifting towards protecting women's spaces and rights, her words feel like a bit of a victory lap for common sense, which may be sad, because, you know, this is how little we've had the support of really anybody in this industry. So there's that. And to be clear, I think this is the beginning of a much larger wave where a bunch of these jerk actors and actresses, but actresses in particular, realize that JK Rowling's views are no longer fringe, they're winning. Damn, sure feels good to be on the winning side of history for once.
I guess.
As most of you know by now, JK Rowling became public enemy number 1 in certain activist circles in and around 2020. Her crime, daring to say that biological sex is real, immutable, and matters, especially for women's safety, sports, and single-sex spaces. It still boggles my mind that this is a controversial position. I very much hope that the left can find a way of curing their brain worms.
Put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds.
Fans lobby, the rest of it.
You people are so petty and tiny.
Anyway, for the
I love this scene. The scene was somehow whole, I guess.
last number of years, her advocacy and defense of women and girls has made her the subject of ire and intense hatred. And that's putting it mildly. Death threats flooded her inbox, boycotts threatened her books, films, video games, and even theme parks built around her series. Not the theme parks.
One San Francisco bookstore decided to stop carrying the Harry Potter series in response to author JK Rowling's politics. The tipping point was Rowling's decision to use income from the book series to start an organization called the JK Rowling Women's Fund.
Celebrities piled on, with Harry Potter alums like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson tweeting in solidarity for trans rights, throwing her under the bus if it meant that they could better virtue signal. The media amplified all of this, painting Rowling as a bigot while glossing over the nuances and truth in her arguments. Meanwhile, this avalanche of women who are screaming for our spaces back along with her.
I'm not sure if that's the right way to get the Harry Potter books out of the bibliothèque or something. I'm not sure if this is the right way.
Have been painted in not the nicest way. So, I don't know, I guess we're all demons to these people. But fast forward to 2025, and much of the forced support for the transgender lobby has fallen away. As I like to keep reminding you all, as I like to keep saying over and over and over again. What can I say? Put a fork in us. We are done.
If you're in public and you are about to ask a stranger if they are transgender or not, stop yourself! Don't do it! Shut up!
I just want to colonize Jupiter.
I see. I don't know why I think that's funny or not. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick. I thought. But yeah, I don't know if I think it's funny or not.
Away from these people. As most of you probably know, because I keep reminding you about it, public opinion has tangibly and observably observably, that sounds weird, observably shifted in the direction of JK Rowling's views. A February 2025 Pew Research survey found Americans are increasingly supportive of restrictions on transgender participation in women's sports and in single-sex facilities, which is up 10 points since 2021. Gee, I wonder why. That's such a mystery. It's almost like women don't like seeing penises in locker rooms. I mean,
who like that? To be honest, who like that? Who like that in women's locker room to see that? To be honest, who 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 do that? I don't know. I don't like it, and I'm sure the other one like it also not.
maybe some of you do, but if that's the case, you should probably do that in your own house. Around April, a Find Out Now poll, that's very hard to say, Find Out Now poll, in the UK showed 59% of people surveyed agreeing with the Supreme Court's ruling that a transgender woman isn't legally a woman under the Equality Act, echoing Rowling's exact position. Nearly half, or about 47%, said that this would positively impact women's rights and safety. Even 41% of 18 to 24-year-olds backed this position, which is shocking. Why the change, you ask? People are tired. I am tired. Tired of overreach. Tired of school policies that let boys into girls' bathrooms and locker rooms. Tired of policies that allow men to compete on women's sports teams, taking away their achievements and their goals and pushing them out of their own sports. Tired of the
Yeah, I see. I see I see the same way. I just see the same way. I'm also so tired of this.
medicalization of vulnerable young people, the lifelong medicalization of vulnerable young people, despite the fact that there is more and more literature that suggests this is terrible and we are severely hurting our children. Resistance to all of these things, just by the way, has always been the pro-reality position, and that's actually quite tangible in
By the
policy.
way, I'm sorry that I mute myself all the time. I don't know why I do that, but it's a reflex somehow.
Wins. Trump's executive orders banning trans women from women's sports and other female spaces, the UK's Supreme Court smackdown on gender self-ID, and Rowling's own massive donations to women's advocacy groups, which has led to tangible change. There is clearly so much more to this, which I have talked about in 2 other videos that I made about the collapse of the trans movement that I will link in the description box, because, you know, outside of this, how many more times can I tell you that these people are lunatics? It's been like 5 years of me saying, hey guys, you know this blue-haired they-them who insists on waddling through the women's bathroom with their dingle-dangles hanging out? Yeah, we shouldn't let them do that. And it's been
Yeah, we shouldn't. We shouldn't.
5 years of Hollywood types being like... Anyway, speaking of Hollywood, let's come back to its actors and actresses. And I think presently they fall into 2 primary camps. Number 1, the people who are finally feeling comfortable enough to express either their true feelings in total, like all of what they think, or just a little bit. And the second camp is made up of people who realize that virtue signaling will not get them anywhere anymore. It's pretty satisfying when you realize that they're also realizing this and you just think, yeah, this is nice. What do you mean my pretend caring doesn't work anymore? Get back in the shed, you weirdo. I think that's why we recently saw
Yeah, back with you.
Emma Watson, who played Hermione in Harry Potter, saying during a podcast interview with Jay Shetty that it's okay to love those who you don't agree with, while referencing JK Rowling.
Having had that experience and holding...
Und wo verkaufen wir das?
Man, please. Get away, Ed.
The love and support and views that I have mean that I can't and don't treasure Joe and the person that I had.
Is that autotune or is her voice really that high?
Personal experiences with. I will never believe that one negates the other, and that my experience of that person I don't get to keep and cherish. To come back to our earlier thing, like I just don't think these things are either or. I think it's my deepest wish that I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily share the same opinion with.
When I usually speed up clips, it's normally to avoid copyright problems,
Oh, it speeds. She did speed up it.
but I sped up Emma Watson here because listening to this, I was like, is it possible for you to speak a little bit faster?
She speaks very slow. That's why it sounds like that. Okay, I see. I was wondering, is it auto-tune or is her voice really sounds like that? But she speeded up. Okay.
I know I told Emma to shut up, but this is not what I had in mind. I also don't want to get into this video too much because I think I want to make a standalone video about Emma Watson being incredibly annoying, but JK Rowling fired back after this and it was a whole thing. Really, Watson's attempt at reconciliation sort of feels like a bit of damage control and maybe sort of a weird attempt at potentially resurrecting her career and wanting to come back in a nice way, especially with HBO's Harry Potter series looming, where Rowling's executive producer role ensures.
I mean, let me take my drink away. Oh, and I didn't take my pills. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. I will not take long. In this, wait. Um. Okay, 5 more and then I'm done. Okay. No. Okay. I have the bit. It was falling down, but I have it. Okay, now we can continue.
Her influence endures. But despite all of the fair-weathered jokes around JK Rowling, and just to be clear, I don't think just because you work with somebody that you happen to like, you have to sign off on all the things that they think. I just think the bare minimum is not being a jerkbag and throwing them under the bus and basically shitting on them because you happen to disagree. But anyway, so there's a lot of these
Two.
fair with the people who've done a lot of this stuff to JK over the years, but there's a lot of people who haven't. There are people who have defended her, and I want to highlight some of them because I think it's worth giving credit where credit is due. Several actresses have backed up JK Rowling and come out and spoken in defense of her over the years, obviously to the chagrin of the transgender lobby, but they did so not because they were being motivated by a shifting position socially or by polls. They did it with conviction because they knew that that was the correct thing to do. And not to sound dramatic, but I think these situations kind of highlight that although courage in Hollywood is rare, it's certainly not extinct. You know, because Hollywood has been very busy informing us that the Pedro Pascal types are in fact the real social heroes. Ugh. In late 2022, during an interview with The Times, Helena, I just watched a show where one of the leads was called Helena, and now that's what I want to say, but I'm sure she says it Helena. Okay, sorry about this.
Helena or Helena? I don't know her, so I can't say it.
Helena Bonham Carter, who played Bellatrix Lestrange in the original Harry Potter films, said the vitriol towards Rowling was horrendous and a load of bollocks. She added, "It's been taken to the extreme, the judgmentalism of people. She's allowed to have her opinion, particularly if she suffered abuse. Everybody carries their own history of trauma and forms their opinions from that trauma, and you have to respect where people come from and their pain. You don't have to agree on everything. That would be insane and boring." Yes, remember when we used to be able to disagree with each other without being name-called? And accused of trying to lynch trans people with our words? Well, that actually...
Yeah, when you agree to everything, it's like not good, I guess, because like she said, it will be boring and it's just not cool.
actually hasn't existed at all during my adulthood, but I'm sure it did for the boomers and the Gen Xers. You better trade places with me, boomies. Trade
Boomies?
places. Similarly, Ivana Lynch, who depicted Luna Lovegood, defended JK Rowling in a tweet in 2020, which she was then bullied into deleting. Later in 2023, she followed up by explaining, "Jo," meaning JK Rowling, "is an advocate for the vulnerable. I was surprised by how angry people were. I do wish people would just give her more grace and listen to her." Lynch, who battled anorexia in earlier life, credits Rowling's books with her recovery, expressing shock at the vitriol towards her former mentor. Actress Frances Barber, whose 2020 open letter in the Sunday Times, signed by 58 creatives including Tom Stoppard, blasted the onslaught.
Yeah, I read way too much, way too less books, or I just not on the newsstands of America or something like that. I have to take me way on stands
Of abuse against Rowling as insidious, authoritarian, and misogynistic. Barber has been unwavering in her support for JK Rowling, tying all of this to free speech and saying that it isn't about trans rights, it's about silencing women, which, to be honest with you guys, is such an accurate portrayal of what so much of this has been and is about. Even Noma Dumezweni, who, for those of you who don't know or who don't remember, played Hermione, and obviously Noma is black, but she played Hermione in the stage production of The Cursed Child and was majorly backed by JK Rowling in this. Like, JK Rowling came out swinging for this woman, saying, "I never specified that Hermione was white. She's, you know, ethnically ambiguous, so this casting is perfectly fine." She, like, really...
Yeah, right. Right. Who said that Hermione is white? Who said that? Because I was saw in clips that Hermione is white, but who said that? I also saw in the on the games, on the Harry Potter games, that Hermione is white. But why? Why? Why should be Hermione white? Why? A little bit racist, I think. Because who said that?
went to bat for this woman. This woman, Noma Dumezweni, basically had support and was publicly supportive of JK Rowling in 2020, and then once again, under the pressure of the trans lobby, retracted her statements, which is incredibly disappointing and sad. I think these women, in conjunction with Keira Knightley actively being like, "I don't care about this issue, please stop asking me," and Emma Watson's recent flip, really does signal a bit of a reckoning. Hollywood's trans orthodoxy is starting to crack under reality's weight. And I think we're going to see a whole lot less commentary about it from Hollywood types, or they're going to go in the opposite direction and pretend that they supported JK Rowling all along. Declaring someone a TERF or anti-trans because they didn't want to join your team or go along with the insanity over the last number of years definitely played a role in causing people not to speak out because they were very afraid of these monikers. But as time has gone on and trans activists have gotten more and more insane and unhinged, people stopped caring. People really are just no longer concerned with being name-called and labeled like this. I am proud to say I never cared. I have been a bigot all along. And I think a lot of women who have largely remained silent or who have tried not to be super outspoken about this just to keep the peace are starting to see that there was really no benefit in that and are changing their tune. I am completely fine saying that JK Rowling's advocacy for women and girls was always the correct position. And all of these people who have attacked her and thrown her under the bus over the years were 100% in the wrong for doing so. Although I don't agree with JK Rowling on plenty of things, I do believe that she has been very measured and very fair in her criticism of the trans movement and has
Yeah, yeah, I think she will be fair. Just don't understand the peoples who are against her or something.
only really ever moved with the intention of ensuring that women and girls have our spaces protected. My prediction is that we are either going to see people clam up and not comment on these issues any further because, like I said, they realize that the virtue signaling achieves nothing, or we are going to see them actually start to express their real opinions either in full or just a little bit. Because I really think the bottom line is that Hollywood is realizing that its advocacy
Honest, I hate Hollywood. Hollywood is, I don't know.
Advocacy for certain leftist positions is not a winning position to have, and that audiences are sick and tired of being lectured to. We already know that major Hollywood studios are starting to move away from the DEI stuff and wokeness in general, and I think that as a result, we are going to see that play out with actors and actresses as well, who are probably going to get their marching orders to shut up and stop doing this. Ultimately, I think that the women who have defended JK Rowling in the past are very cool for doing so, and I think it takes a lot of courage to stand out and stand up when no one else is willing to do that and to defend somebody who is kind of out on their own. As far as Keira Knightley goes, I know that what she said wasn't that big of a deal on the surface, but I do think it is an indicator of things that are to come. In the end, I do love watching how these celebrities act on this sort of broader social scale. I love watching how their brains work and how they navigate social issues.
Yeah, that's nice to see. I agree on that. That's nice to see.
As they change, but like I have said, I am very keen to see what happens going forward. I do think my predictions are going to be correct, but as usual, we're just going to have to sit back and observe. Now on that note, and before
I don't know, we will see.
I open the floor to all of you. This is just a reminder, check out Incogni using the link in the description. I am very grateful that I have my Incogni account, so if this is something that worries you, the data broker thing, your information being everywhere, you being so Googleable, absolutely check them out. I promise you won't regret it. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Do you think that JK Rowling is going to be proved correct on a long enough timeline? Do you think that more actors and actresses are going to start joining her and defending her publicly? What do you think of Keira Knightley's response to the question she was asked? Do you think that it was representative of—
The thing is, I'm not sure if they will backing her up because people are weird. So I don't know. I think they will not backing her up. But I don't know. We will see. We will see.
Of a person who is just so sick of this trans issue? Do you think that she really didn't have an answer and she really didn't know? What do you think of Emma Watson's video? Do you think that she is trying to backpedal all of a sudden for some reason? What do you think of the women who have previously defended JK Rowling? Do you think that that's very brave and courageous, or do you think that's just how you act towards somebody who's given you a massive job opportunity? And what you generally—
No, I think that's cool that she did that. I think that's not just because of that job.
Make of this issue overall. As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them. I like hearing your feedback. Of course, as I always say, I hope you little chickadee noodle people stay safe and well and make good choices and go and buy yourself some flowers this weekend. What is today? Wednesday? Go buy yourself some flowers on Thursday or Friday, and I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I like this video. I like it. I like it. I like it. I also give a thumb up already. Celebrities are thinking for themselves, sort of. There's a lot about self-preservation, just take a while for some people. Yeah, yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys was having fun to see me reaction on it. And we see us in the next video. Hi guys. Bye bye.